What is up? Welcome to the Sam Now Has podcast, and the NBA is back, baby. We are finally here. We got Nuggets, Lakers, Suns, Warriors. I'm here for it. But first things first, before we get into that, congratulations to the Texas Rangers for making the MLB World Series for the first time since 2011. Me as a Rangers fan, I'm so happy. And I mean, it makes it just a lot more better just to beat the Astros, to go to the World Series. You know, good season for them. They fought really hard. It is what it is. Rangers win, go to the World Series. Of course, tonight, Phillies versus Diamondbacks. I really don't know who I would want to win and who I really go for. I just hope it's going to be a good game. I'll be kind of back and forth watching that game, but mostly my focus is going to be on NBA basketball, which is tonight. I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting all week for this. Of course, first game we have season opener. Nuggets, the defending champs, versus the Los Angeles Lakers, who they swept in the Western Conference Finals. Expectations for the Lakers are pretty high. I think, now that I think of it, I had them as a top 4. Maybe I think I had them at 2 seed in the NBA. I think I dropped them a little bit more. I think they would be a decent, solid. I think they could be there, of course, but I think they'll be more of a 4-5. Not to be too picky about it. To me, Anthony Davis has to be the guy for the Lakers. He has to be the number one guy, because you can't rely on 39-year-old LeBron James. Are you kidding me? 39 LeBron, almost 40 years old. I think he might have just turned 4. I don't know when his birthday is, but to have to rely on an old LeBron James to be the number one guy and carry you, which last year, whole bunch of injuries. I mean, you fell out of I think they were in the play-in. I mean, that's what you can't need. You can't have the day-to-day Davis, and that's what we've seen. That's what we saw in the playoffs, and that's what we've seen through history. And I think it's been since the bubble he played, the bubble year, the shortened year, because it was shortened year, he played a good amount of games. And I think it was since the Pelicans he's played over 60 games or something like that. And I'm not here for that. Anthony Davis, of course, who I picked to be my defensive player of the year, because I think he can turn this narrative around and be healthy. He doesn't have to be MVP in the league, but I think his defense is solid enough and him being healthy and available could get him that defensive player of the year. If he's in that MVP conversation, even better. Finally, live up to the expectations that he was having when he first got drafted into this league. And Lakers, to be successful this year, I don't think you need to be the number 1 seed and all that stuff. I think you just need to be solidly not in the play-in, just in that top 6 teams. And I think if you're in there, you're in a good spot. I think I'd prefer more in the 1 through 3 spot than rather being through the 4 through 6 spot, and of course not being in the play-in at all. But a healthy Anthony Davis could make this team a championship team, especially with the pieces around them. They're going to be a solid regular season team, but I think this team is built to make a run in the playoffs. And with Anthony Davis playing at the level that I think he can this season, cannot go, not be better than Jokic, but I think, keep up with him, especially be better than a Joel Embiid who won the MVP last year. And why not start that narrative, turn that narrative around against the people, the team that swept you this past season, against the team that won the NBA Finals. Arguably, if you would have made the NBA Finals, you arguably could have won, and that would have been a rematch of the bubble right there. That would have been nice. But of course, the Denver Nuggets are solid. I do have questions for them. How will they be without Bruce Brown? I think they lost Jeff Green, and it's just, with this team also getting older, how consistent can they stay? Which I think they can stay consistent. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world for a reason. And of course, I expect Aaron Gordon to be his role, maybe elevated a little bit more. But how much better is Michael Porter Jr. going to be? How much better is Christian Brown going to be, after losing Bruce Brown last year? And I'm not expecting too much of Zeke Naji, but I hope he can be a big factor that they're hyping him up for. And of course, Julian Strawther, I want to see if he can be a big factor for this team. Not necessarily like a 6-man, but just to, get key rotation minutes as that, 9-10 man off the bench. And I mean, this is going to be a good game right here. I think if I had to pick, I think I'd have to pick the Nuggets winning this game, but with a huge Anthony Davis game. If I was a betting man, which I am, probably be smashing the overs on Anthony Davis's points, because I think even historically he has big first game opening days. But it is what it is. Nuggets, Lakers. I got the Nuggets. Very excited for this Lakers team. I'm usually a Lakers hater, but I sat down with myself and realized you don't hate the Lakers. You just don't like majority of the fans, and that's just because of Twitter and all that. But you know what I mean. Anthony Davis needs to be the guy. Key point. Nikola Jokic, still best player in the world. Let's see how Jamal Murray is if he goes down to earth in the regular season and not be all world like he was in the playoffs finals, of course. And next game we have is the Suns versus the Warriors. Stephen Curry. I got a notification today, which it looks like that Chris Paul might be coming off the bench. I think that could be a big factor, facilitate the offense with Steph off the court. And of course, I think this team could be good with Steph and Chris Paul on the court together. It's just I'm worried about the defense. You got Draymond Green, but I think he's gonna be out for a few weeks, so he's not gonna be here in the home opener or the season opener. And you're going against the Suns, who was just straight offense and straight buckets. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, just 3 straight buckets. I am kind of worried for the rest of the team. They kind of mixed it up a little bit with the DeAndre Ayton trade. You know, they got solid pieces of Grayson Allen and all them. I can't remember who else they got. Yusuf Nurkic, solid on and off, but hopefully he can be a solid enough center for them. But back to the Warriors. Defense is a huge thing. I think the Warriors can go on a slow start without Draymond Green, because without Draymond Green, that defense plummets down, especially starting off with the Suns team, who is an offensive firepower, probably could be one of the best offenses in the league this year. And it's going to have to be a Steph Curry backpack, and hopefully Andrew Wiggins is solid enough and stay in front of Devin Booker or Kevin Durant. And that thing that, like, I'm saying it now, Andrew Wiggins can guard whoever he wants, but they still got 2 of the other guys. He can go guard Kevin Durant, but they still got Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, who's a great facilitator, which I think is kind of underrated. About everyone's talking about that, Bradley Beal can't really play the point guard. I think Bradley Beal will be in the point guard position, but Devin Booker will be the real facilitator for this offense, because he's shown that he can get 8-9 assists in a stretch of games and still get his own buckets. And I was kind of low on the Suns after they made these moves, but they've made solid moves on the bench, and I'm really excited for the Suns team, and hopefully they can pan out. Of course, for Kevin Durant going from team to team, and hopefully this is the team where he can be, and he can be a little more successful than he's been in the past years, especially in Brooklyn. And Warriors, Suns. I think I'm about to go with Suns here, especially with them missing Draymond Green. Klay Thompson doesn't have a contract, so we don't know how good he's going to play. I think he'll play solid this year. I think he will enter unrestricted free agency, which is crazy. Possibly the last year of Klay Thompson with the Warriors. And then the Suns, of course, offensive firepower. I think the offense is just going to be too much for the Warriors. And I just want to see how Chris Paul is put in this offense, if he's going to start after all, or he's going to come off the bench, and how much minutes are we going to get Chris Paul and Stephen Curry together. I expect this big Stephen Curry game, and I'm going to go with the big Devin Booker game. I'm calling it right now. But of course I have the Suns and the Nuggets winning. And 5 debuts, our next category, 5 debuts I am excited to see for this NBA season. Number 1, if you don't know, I am a Spurs fan. Of course, I am excited to see my first overall pick, Victor Wembanyama, make his first official NBA debut. Been a bucket. If the Spurs make the playoffs or the play-in or anything like that, I am going to make some nasty takes. You best believe I'm going to be saying that the AC San Antonio Spurs could beat the 1 seed, whoever. You best believe I'm going to be saying that. But of course, Victor Wembanyama, and what makes it even better is another generational European superstar, Luka Doncic. We got Luka versus Wemby. We got the Texas matchup right there, and I'm excited for this. Wemby versus Luka. And I think Wemby's going to eat, of course. me, a little bit biased, but of course a big Devin Vassell year that I'm excited for. I wanted to see how Keldon Johnson is in the mix because I think he could possibly be the odd man out. I hope not. He's a really great 3-point shooter, a good wing for them, but Lily's a little undersized. But I think another contending team or a middle tier team could use that, and of course the Spurs could use the draft picks or someone else. But I'm excited for that. And then Luka and Kyrie, I mean, it's pure offense and good guards right there. But it's that center position, power forward position. I don't think Maxi Kleber's gonna play. If not, he's gonna be kind of limited. Or I just not much of a believer in Maxi Kleber. Of course, you're relying on the 2 rookies, and I think that's where Wemby's gonna eat. Jimmy Sohan's gonna have himself a big game. Hopefully, I think he'll start in the 3 spot, possibly off the bench, but we might see some points. Sohan. And defense is what I'm worried about for the Dallas Mavericks. And how good is this team without a Kyrie and a Luka? I mean, can Jalen Harden carry the second unit? And if Luka twists his ankle, how much can Kyrie carry this team? We know that Luka can kind of carry this team, but they are a little bit more thin than they were the past few years. And hopefully you're hoping that Luka and Kyrie can be healthy, which I hope so, because I think Luka can be a top 3 MVP candidate. But I also did have him missing the playoffs, so it is what it is. But I think this first game definitely for them is going to be a tone setter of what possibly the season can go. It is a long season, but this could be a general idea of how the Dallas Mavericks could be. And next, I talked about it earlier, Bradley Beal. I'm excited for his debut with the Phoenix Suns, of course, against the Warriors. Just see how that offense works, how Frank Vogel is going to put him in the offense. If he's going to be the main ball handler, like I said earlier, if it's going to be Devin Booker, I'm happy for this. Bradley Beal's finally free from Washington, and I hope he has a big game. Next, and this debut won't happen until Thursday. Damian Lillard and Giannis, of course we saw that in the preseason, but a first official debut in the NBA season. I'm excited for it, and of course to see how this group works and see how this team works, especially with Terry Stotts stepped down from the assistant coaching position, and I hope this team can come together. And I think what's going to be the big factor for them, I think the team is going to be good, but it's going to be how good is Brook Lopez going to be, especially this old age and injury, and how good is Chris Middleton, how available Chris Middleton is going to be. I don't think Chris Middleton has to be too good, but I think he just has to be available for them to be a top seed and comfortably a top seed in this Eastern Conference. And it's not going to happen until Thursday. I think they play the 76ers, who they have big questions for. I don't think that James Harden is going to play at all. It came out earlier that James Harden, is with his mom in Houston, that she's not doing too well. I mean, praise to her. Of course, it's kind of weird timing, but I'm not going to bash on James Harden for taking care of his mom. I mean, prayers to him and his family, of course. Hope everything is fine. And Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, let's see how they go with this duo right here. But back to the Bucks, the big thing that could be the huge factor for them is the new coach. How we've seen, first year coaches take them to the finals and all that, but I think that could end up being a big factor, especially against, Joe Mazzulla, who's had experience now, against a Nick Nurse, who's been experienced and also been experienced as a first year head coach who's won a finals. And I'm trying to think of Tom Thibodeau. I can't think of any other coaches right now in the East. I guess you can also say Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder, and then I'm thinking Eric Spoelstra. I don't know. I can't believe I forgot the Heat's coach, but I think the coaching could be the main point that's gonna hurt the Bucks, and hopefully it doesn't hurt them too much. But if it's a factor of them not being successful and them being successful, it could be possibly the head coach. At number 4, Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday. Huge. This is on Wednesday. A huge, moves that the Boston Celtics made. I just want to see how good Kristaps is going to be with the 5 position, and of course Drew Holiday. I think he's going to be Drew Holiday and solid enough, a much better version of Marcus Smart in this offense. And I want to see how Joe Mazzulla puts these guys together and hopefully, meshes them really good. And I think this defense could be one of the best defenses in the league. And of course, my MVP is Jason Tatum, and I think this year is the year to happen. And at number 5, my last favorite debut. This one's kind of out of nowhere, but I have Jordan Poole. I know he had a great, amazing preseason game and then had a horrible preseason game. But here, I'm just excited to see how he is outside the Warrior system, and just let him kind of be on his own and see who else kind of comes up from it. If it's going to be a Denny Advia, is it going to be a Corey Kispert, and who's going to be, is Johnny Davis going to get some run? But I think I'm just excited for Jordan Poole to be on his own, and just see him get buckets by himself. And of course, big games, Celtics Knicks. That's who the Celtics are playing. Celtics Knicks, and then Spurs Mavericks. Definitely going to be watching that. And then the Clippers versus Portland. I'm excited for that matchup, just to see Scoot Henderson and of course Kawhi Leonard and Paul George back on the court. And then the Magic versus the Rockets. Magic, I'm really bought into the second year of Paulo Banchero and then Franz Wagner making that big jump. And then the Houston Rockets, I'm excited to see, with all the acquisitions they made, how they can mesh together and how Ime Udoka can bring this team together and hopefully be solid enough. I have them towards the bottom because I don't think it can work out, but I hope it can work out for Rockets fans and be good enough for them. But I'm excited for the NBA season. Comment down below how excited you are and who you have winning the finals and who you have winning tonight. I'm Sam. This is the Sam Navigas Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.